your bags and we'll take you around the world and back and inspire you to explore. From aboard a snowmobile in Lapland to off the beaten track in Eastern Africa, Explore takes you on some of the world's most unusual adventure holidays. Africa, the ultimate destination for the adventure traveller, and Kenya's got it all. You can experience Kenya's rugged beauty all year round, but why not time your visit to coincide with one of East Africa's most awesome natural spectacles? In August, over 1.4 million wildebeest migrate from the Serengeti in Tanzania in search of Kenya's rain-ripened plains. There's an exciting sense of expectation as you take position, watching and waiting for the imminent arrival of the great herds. You can imagine yourself as a great white game hunter or perhaps an intrepid filmmaker trekking across the hostile country that has always inspired adventurers. Prepare yourself for the thrill of coming face to face with a wild African elephant. The largest land animal alive, these are the kings of the Masai Mara Plains. And they know it. With no natural predators, these massive beasts roam the savannas without a care and just might let you get close enough to take a picture. You can also see hundreds of thousands of zebra joining the wildebeest along their treacherous 2,000-kilometre journey. It's safety in numbers for these vulnerable herds, with lions, cheetahs and even crocodiles keen to take their bite out of the population. The safari is the perfect family holiday where you can observe the extraordinary African fauna right where they live and breathe. But the sheer thundering scale of this event is not for the faint-hearted. These guys can take off at speeds of up to 80 kilometres an hour and together, in their thousands, form a force of nature to be reckoned. After a long, hot safari, let Kenya's famous Maasai people invite you inside their vibrant culture. These legendary warriors can be a little scary at first in their striking red costumes, but you can relax. They just want to show you why they are one of the world's most fascinating people. Here's some information that might help you on your trip to Kenya. Enjoy the tropical weather and take plenty of Kenyan shillings. Peak season runs from June to September, and pack for a tropical climate. If you're seeking adventure at the other end of the globe and at the other end of the thermometer, then you're invited into the pristine wilderness of Finland's Arctic Circle. So pack your sense of adventure and your warm winter woolies for an Arctic safari. An Arctic safari will take you deep into the fairy tale landscape of Lapland, Santa's own homeland. Summer holidays don't have to be all sandcastles by the seaside. Your family can have an unforgettable experience frolicking in one of the most extreme environments in the world. At minus 32 degrees Celsius, here in Rovaniemi, Lapland, you really have to rug up if you want to catch a glimpse of Santa Claus. And depending on whether you've been naughty or nice, you might just get to pet one of his beloved reindeer. Tour guides seen here in their traditional costume take care to run an eco-friendly tour. Comforts like firewood are brought into the area by snowmobile, and all rubbish later removed so that nothing disturbs the peace and perfection of Santa's secret home. The Finnish do not charge entry fees to their national parks and forest trails, so all the fun is free and freezing. Here in Finland's northernmost point is one of the only places you can experience the totally unique phenomenon of the midnight sun, where the sun is visible at midnight. Given fair weather conditions, the sun can be visible for a continuous 24-hour period and doesn't even set for 73 days during summer. Visitors of all ages can take full advantage of the endless daylight hours to explore this winter wonderland and all the fun of Christmas every day. Sightings of the Great Man in Red are common here as he goes about his work preparing for that one day in December. In fact, 500,000 true believers visit Santa in the Lapland town of Rovaniemi every year. Tourists from Britain, neighbouring Russia, even as far away as Japan, come to deliver their Christmas wish lists by hand. In this way, you can be sure you won't miss out when Santa and his team get to work, ordering up enough iPods and PlayStations for everyone. If Finland is your perfect from here to nowhere destination, you won't have to be able to speak Finnish to talk to Santa, but it helps. Pack for a cold climate and be sure to fill your pockets with the euro. If your idea of a getaway is encountering an untouched tribal people still living life as their ancient ancestors did, then your destination is Papua New Guinea. New Guinea is an island off the remote North Australian coastline, located on the equator and just west of the Solomon Islands. This village, called Combat, welcomes visitors into a culture rich in colour and ceremony. Combat is nestled on the banks of the Sepik River, which runs the entire length of the country and is one of the world's longest rivers. These women are beginning the arduous task of preparing a meal of their staple food, sago. The bark is stripped from the tree and then crushed to form a paste. Young girls are responsible for this manual work, but by dinner time, everyone in the village will have had a hand in this meal. Regular flooding of the Sepik River means it's impossible for the tribe to maintain a crop system. This makes sago a life-saving food. You can see the villagers take part in this daily labour of love, going through a process unchanged for countless generations. Make sure to taste this unusual food while you're here, served to you on a palm leaf with a big New Guinea smile. And stay for the company. The people of Combat are just as curious about you. Life on the unpredictable river can be precarious, but these resilient people have learned to survive on very little. Today's dish is a hearty bowl of shrimp soup. While in Combat, you can purchase one of the culture's precious carvings. Created with painstaking patience, this is no mass-produced art form for the tourist market. Carved using skills lovingly handed down from father to son, no two pieces are the same. The figures and tableaus depict village life, recall important historical events, and even provide insight into the deep, dark past, including a history of headhunting. Thankfully, not a popular practice today. The villagers believe their artwork contains a quality called imunu, a power that pervades all things. This power is especially found in significant ritual objects like their carved masks. You'll feel the power and excitement of this living culture if you take this opportunity to visit New Guinea's famed river people. Here's some helpful info on Papua New Guinea. The New Guinean currency is the kina, and peak season runs from April to October. The locals speak Papuan and the climate is tropical. Goromara National Park in India's east and west Bengal state offers you a break with a special difference. You'll be far away from India's teeming crowds in a place where even tree felling has been banned. And you'll fall in love in this lush green paradise, not just with the bird life, the peaceful surrounds, and the relaxing change of pace from city life. You'll fall in love with the elephants. At the Jalpaiguri Elephant Camp, you can help feed, bathe and care for the elephants in a close encounter with these intelligent beasts. Don't just take a day trip to the camp, stay in one of the comfortable cottages. Fitted out with modern facilities, you'll feel right at home. You'll be able to observe the important work camp rangers do every day to help the forest to flourish and their elephants to thrive. You'll thrive too in this nurturing environment. If India is where you want to head for a holiday, what are you waiting for? Don't let your rupees get too hot. Spend them. Peak season runs from June to September, and make sure you visit the elephant camps. Explore takes you from the tropical jungles of India to the dry desert heart of the United Arab Emirates. But don't expect hardship, searing thirst and a struggle for survival. Life is luxurious in the beautiful world-famous resort of Al Mahar. Only a short 45-minute drive from the bustling cosmopolitan city of Dubai is this shimmering oasis. Each of the 30 chalets has its own plunge pool and tranquil private garden. Dubai's Al Mahar is classified one of the world's leading small hotels, with suites exquisitely designed to resemble a Bedouin encampment. This experience is certainly for the traveller who thinks he might have done it all. You'll feel like a real Lawrence of Arabia. Your days will be filled with riding, camel treks and archery, recalling the glamorous lifestyle of a bygone era. In the afternoon, you can read, paint and reflect in a sophisticated setting. And who knows how you'll fill your Arabian Nights. But Al Mahar's real claim to fame is as the only desert conservation sanctuary in the arid Gulf region. The striking Arabian oryx was hunted to the verge of extinction 50 years ago. That was until some scientists with foresight began a breeding program in Arizona in the United States. Now in healthy numbers, the oryx has been reintroduced to their original home and are free to roam through their natural habitat in safety. This is the first environmentally friendly resort to be built in the desert, harnessing solar energy and minimising its impact on the environment. Over 6,000 indigenous trees and shrubs have been replanted in the area, providing food and shelter for a wide variety of animals, from birds and lizards to hedgehogs and gazelles. It's here you'll find the famed firebush, a plant with mysterious pyrotechnic qualities. The beautiful Arabian oryx can thank the award-winning Al-Mahar for its very survival. And you'll be thankful to find here in the desert an oasis catering to your every whim and always served with the famous Bedouin hospitality. If exploring this beautiful country is in your from here to nowhere plans, speaking some Arabic should help you to find your way around. Pack for a hot climate and you'll need the local currency, the dirham, to spend. Although it's hot and dry and there's nothing for miles and miles, they don't call this the desert. They call this the outback, the Australian outback. If you've always wanted to discover your own ghost town, you're not the only one. The outback town of Broken Hill has a strong attraction for film crews. It's been the setting for Mad Max and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, among many other films. It's hard to believe this has been the site of such bustling creative activity. These old props and sets don't look like they've heard the cry action for quite some time. There's everything here and the kitchen sink. Everyone wants to be in pictures, they say, although these laid-back Aussie camels could seem to care less. They've met them all, from rock stars shooting music videos to the likes of Mel Gibson and Tom Cruise. Before you do too much exploring in the hostile place, you'd better consult the locals. An Aboriginal guide will happily share his local knowledge of bush food and water divining with you. Aboriginal art has taken the world by storm. Galleries all over the world are clambering for the distinctive pieces. Painting, sculpture, silkscreen prints, Aborigines paint to keep their culture alive. Each image documents the past and present and creates a link between the earth and the supernatural. Here in Alice Springs, the Northern Territory, locals have harnessed the problem of wild camels into a successful camel trekking business. Camels were brought to Australia by Afghani traders and explorers, and most were released into the outback in the 1920s. Australia is now home to the largest population of wild camels, estimated to be around 750,000. This bumpy ride is the only way to see the outback. Take your friends and family and don't forget to wear a sturdy helmet. It's a long way down if you fall. You'll tread on the same land and feel the spirit of one of the most ancient peoples. The outback can be a sheer delight with its hardly vegetated, magnificent rock formations and its golden, glorious sunsets. This is an adventure holiday to the dead heart of a largely unknown continent. And while you're there, become a star of your own movie. Australia is a beautiful country, and make sure you take plenty of sunscreen for the outback's unforgiving sun. You'll need Australian dollars, and make sure you take in the sunsets over the vast outback. As a holidaymaker to Chile's Chulo village, you might think you've landed on Mars. The red sands, the alien landscape. What are these mysterious structures? Are they man-made? Are they natural? In fact, the village of Tulor is the only preserved Neolithic site on the planet. This ancient village, dating back to 800 BC, is made of circular buildings that once housed 200 people on the shores of the San Pedro River. The adobe structures were originally covered by thatched roofs and surrounded by a perimeter wall. The village was probably abandoned 300 AD when the oasis dried up. Today, the village is a museum that seems to be buried alive in sand. Newer buildings have been built using the same mud and the same techniques the first inhabitants used. The museum gives the visitor an eerie insight into a primitive people. We can only imagine the language, the lifestyles, the daily lives of a race that time has almost forgotten. The biggest problem facing the precious site are the constant eroding sands that seem bent on burying the place and its history forever. Another Chilean ghost town with a slightly fresher history is Humberstone, an old nitrate mining town lying battered and bare in the Atacama Desert. The 1800s were a boom time as British and Chilean miners dug up the nitrate to be used in fertilisers, detergents and explosives. Huge fortunes were won and lost until the industry collapsed in the 1920s. Humberstone may not be pretty, but thanks to a group of nostalgic desert dwellers, it has been restored as part of Chile's industrial and cultural history. About 45,000 tourists a year drive to the abandoned town to walk in the shoes of the bitter miners, who were paid little and worked hard under the desert sun. But not all here in the Atacama Desert is a reminder of hard times. When the time is right, you can see a rare display of brilliant wildflowers bursting into life over one of the driest deserts in the world. If you're a keen student of exotic flora, you'll need to watch the weather maps to plan your trip to Chile. You won't want to miss this natural spectacle. Every 3 or 4 years, when the El Niño weather phenomenon causes the ocean currents to shift and directs rainstorms towards the Atacama, this is the result. The latent seeds germinate into exotic colours and shapes that carpet the valleys in new life. The Atacama is certainly a place of stunning contrasts, where the traveller can rejuvenate along with the wildflowers, awed by a truly savage landscape. If this is your ideal destination, prepare for the high heat of day in Chile. You can converse with the locals in Spanish and spend many pesos on souvenirs. We hope we've inspired you to look beyond the glossy brochures for a holiday with a difference. Make sure you join us next time for another expedition on Explore.